House of Exotic Takes with Larry Frolic. And Larry's back. Larry's back. He went on a little vacay to Dryden, Ontario. And he's back with us now. We're all excited in the land. Yay. I wish I had those things where you could go in the background. I don't know how to do that stuff. But if I did, I would, because we're all just crazy excited. We're doing little Pearlo dances in the land. There we go. Yes, everybody. So Larry's back. It's summertime, and there has been not really all that much news. But today, I was going to have one of Zach the Max's friends who's working on a podcast, Tyler, on, but his kids got sick. And he's a huge Edmonton Oilers fan, and him and I were going at it earlier today about the Edmonton Oilers and how they may do this year. So I'm going to throw it at Larry, man. Oh, there's Jordan, another Sens fan. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
You just attract Sens fans.
Yeah, I do. Sens fans. I have a lot of friends that are Sens fans. There's no doubt about that. So I'm gonna throw it at Larry. We're gonna talk about how Babcock might be with the Edmonton Oilers, how they are as an overall team after all of the moves that they did. And we're going to look at the remaining free agents as well. And what kind of maybe ponder as to why they haven't been signed, where they might go, and all of those things like that. I'm going to get out my trusty journal here. I do have a pen. Yeah, always prepared here at Pearlo Wisdom Industries, don't you know? All right. So the Edmonton Oilers, very interesting moves that they did this year. Of course, the biggest one being that of Mike Babcock and being the coach of the Edmonton Oilers. And I had to look back. I honestly didn't talk about this much. I haven't really talked about it since it happened. I don't know why. I'm talking about Larkin 24/7. I guess that's probably why. The next Detroit coach as well. So, anyways, I got talking to Tyler. Tyler's a great dude. Pretty smart hockey guy. Big Oilers fan. And we got going back and forth on it. But I'm going to pass it to you first, and then I'll kind of chime in as we go along. What is your feeling? What is your concept? What is your take on Babcock in general? And how much do you think that the idea that McDavid and Draisaitl obviously supported this move, and Hyman as well? Do you think things could be a problem there with Babcock? And also you can chime into the moves that they make in their roster and how they look going into this year.
So Mike Babcock has a huge history. So we know he's had issues in the history and with multiple teams, not just one. So that kind of goes against him a little bit, but he did step away from hockey for a little bit. He did interview to get this job. I felt comfortable going with him. Same with Columbus, and then that went downhill. So I think Mike Babcock, if things go bad, maybe you see some of those demons come back up from the grave. But I think you see McDavid, Hyman, and Draisaitl reiterate this summer a few times that they're all in on Babcock. They think he's the perfect coach. So when you got your leaders saying, yes, this is the guy, then I think that's a good message. And Mike Babcock himself said it's my way or the highway kind of thing when he started his press conference. He's like, we're going to do it the Babcock way, or that's it. He said he'll just walk away with the team if he doesn't care, if they don't want to do it his way. So I think that the leaders are bought in. This is going to give more of a chance, I think, for bottom six forwards to have more of a role on this team. And I think that's where the key is. Edmonton hasn't had that for many years. I know you all, Luke, that their bottom six has been crap, but they can't play them. That's why they double, triple shift McDavid and Draisaitl. But I think I really like Matthew Joseph being signed. I think he is kind of a little underrated, but he's got speed. He's got a guy that can play the PK, give you some more depth scoring. He's not going to score you 25, but he get between 15 or 20, and I would think was a good acquisition. Dickinson, re-signing him, that was the hugest signing that they did, getting that guy locked up long term. That guy is very important for them because that slides Hopkins up possibly into a top 6 role if they need, or have Hopkins and Dickinson on the same line on a third line, which then you have a really good third line depending who plays with him, which I think is very good. So I think there's pieces here where the Oilers are going to be either the same or better than last year. I don't think they took a step back, that's for sure. Defense looks really good to me. Like I know you're kind of a Nurse fan. You thought he was a little underrated in Edmonton, but I think that his contract and his demeanor of like being played in that lower middle, top, second, third pairing kind of maybe brought the mood down for him a little bit. That's why he kind of requested a trade, I guess, because he wants to have more of an important role. So I really do like that they moved on from Nurse. It was kind of a distraction probably in the end. Get him out of there. Now you got Ekholm that's going to take more of those minutes. You got Connor Murphy, who didn't play very well last year, but he's a good third pairing defenseman. So I think you can spread those minutes out a little bit more. Ryan Shea, a really good pickup. A beautiful pickup, I think, for them. Like if you got rid of Nurse, got Shea, I think that's very similar players. Maybe Nurse has a bit more offensive numbers, obviously, but I think Ryan Shea is a lot better defensively. So I think they've improved. And with Babcock, if he stays level, I think this team could be dangerous, 100%, especially in the division they play. Who's going to challenge them in this division? Vegas. That's about it. Maybe San Jose or maybe Utah, depending if everything goes right. Otherwise, it's Edmonton and Vegas' division. There's nobody else going to challenge them.
Yeah,
one term I like that you use
division wise, I think they're in a decent spot. Just because of the division, I would agree with that. I'll ask you this then. I mean, before I chime in, there's a few things that I'm not on the same page with what you said, but I am on the page on most of it. Where does Edmonton finish if they're in the Atlantic?
Oh, out of a playoff spot, probably.
There you go.
100%. 100%.
There you go. So are they okay?
They're an okay team in the division that they're in. But look what happened.
Are they okay? This is a team that needs to win the cup this year.
Yeah. Look at Vegas. They were kind of they wouldn't have made the playoffs if they were in the East.
If they didn't have Cassidy as a coach, they're going to do way better this year. Don't worry about the roster. They're going to do way better. Personally, myself, I think they
would get
handily. Maybe San Jose.
Well, one thing with that division is it's the easier ride to get to the Stanley Cup final.
That could be, yeah.
Carolina, they destroyed their opponents on the way. They got a lot of rest. So did Vegas, other than the long series of Minnesota. They destroyed Colorado. So they were kind of rested going into the finals too. Not as much as Carolina, but they had a hell of a time against Minnesota. And then after that, but I think that division is an advantage itself. Whoever comes out of there is probably not going to be beaten up that much, because whoever finishes first is playing a wild card team. Who finishes second is going to play the third place team, which is going to be Utah, San Jose, or not Utah. Sorry, Seattle. Utah's in that division, right?
No,
Utah's in the Central. Sorry, I'm thinking Seattle. They'll play against Seattle or Anaheim. I forgot about Anaheim.
Ooh. Yeah, Anaheim, their defense is kind of very green this year, it's going to be more difficult for them to do it. San Jose, I mean, that I was looking at their forward group and, you know, a couple additions there. It's that, at least in the regular season, that team probably is destined for, I would say, a playoff spot in that division right now for sure.
I think
But
so too.
So, okay, I wanted to ask that. So,
Yeah.
if they're in the Atlantic, they don't make it. If they're in the Metro, do they make it?
Maybe as a wild card, but even so, because the Atlantic's probably going to take both wild cards again.
Right.
Maybe a Columbus or a Washington, or depending, I don't know. The Metro got a lot better too. That's the problem. So the Atlantic and the Metro are probably the two most improved divisions this year. So I would say probably not again.
It would be
Because if you look,
close. I think they'd have
they'd
to
be
take
close.
New Jersey, Columbus, stuff like that. I mean, right?
Either they'll be out of the playoffs or they steal the third seed in
Maybe.
the Metro.
All right. And the Central?
Well, that's already 1, 2, 3. Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota. Then you have.
I'm not so sure about Dallas.
No.
No, I did an article on Dallas too. I'm not saying they're not going to. I'm saying there could be a bit of a struggle there this year. Could be a bit on the struggle wagon. All right. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'll put in my lean on this. I'm kind of all over the place with the Edmonton Oilers. I think if things go well early, and you know everybody's in buy-in, as you said, buy-in when it comes to Babcock. Okay, I know for sure that McDavid, if instructed to do so and allowed to do so, and said regardless of what the score is to do so, can be an extremely good 3-zone defensive forward. I've seen it. He's shown the analytics for it, and he can do that. That is probably what Babcock's going to be asking a lot of here, if they can get to the position to do that. Draisaitl is better than people give him credit for too. Then that's kind of what Babcock is in a lot of ways. He plays very Cassidy-ish. He has a very Cassidy-ish way of playing. And that is, as you know, a possession game. It relies heavily on forwards being in their spots. Although last 2 years, Eichel didn't have those, the analytics to show that was happening. It seems it was really weird what was going on with Cassidy and Vegas that year. But generally speaking, that's what they're asking. So what he asks of the team. I think from what I've seen, if he was not a coach, and I think the same thing of Cassidy, if you could hire him to simply sit somewhere and relay information to people, I think Babcock is a genius. And I think Cassidy is a genius from what I understand. More Cassidy than Babcock, but from what I understand about Babcock, he's similar to Cassidy that way. I would rather that. The thing is with Babcock, from everything I've seen, is it reminds me of Wilson back in the day as a coach as well. He doesn't take criticism well from his own players, and he's basically never going to admit that there's something that he did incorrectly in any way. So when things go south, the finger comes out and he bullies the shit out of whoever he can that gets affected by his bullying. He loves it. It's the way he gets his own insecurities out. And someone has to be there to aid these players that take his wrath. So if you got it's all going to be dependent on how McDavid and Draisaitl do this. Like if they're going to buy in, they're going to have to sit down with Babcock and or something. I don't know. Like if they start laughing and thinking this is a good thing when he starts doing this stuff, I don't think this ends well. I don't think it does. They need to basically like do what Bergeron and Krejci and McAvoy and the older players on Boston did with Cassidy. They would console the players and say, look, just let it bounce off you. Don't even pay attention to it. Just listen to what he says and do what he says in a positive manner. He's just in a bitchy mood and he's taking it out on you. That's what Bob Babcock does. And if you can't handle it, he will keep on going at you. It's like as soon as he senses weakness, he will slay you over and over and over again. So there has to be some people in the room that realize this or know this. You got to remember, he was in Detroit for a long time. So there was a lot of players in Detroit that knew what he was like and was able to smooth it over somehow. In Toronto, he didn't last long because he did some of these things and there was everybody that was going, what the hell? Besides Hyman, apparently. What the hell's going on? Like it creates chaos. That's what I am not saying any of this is fact. That just from what I've read in the many different ways I've read it, that seems to be the case. You got a guy, we bring up the guy that seems to have built his whole rest of his after NHL career, Commodore, on hating Babcock. I don't take that much into consideration. Okay. It sounds like he had his own issues or whatever. I don't take that into consideration. Whatever happened in Columbus, my gut says that was more of a certain player thing, and I think that was more Laine that pushed the buttons on this. But I don't know everything that happened there, and obviously they did an investigation and it was fine. How the Edmonton Oilers will go in that way will completely depend on how players respond to Babcock and how the leadership allows him to do the things that he likely is very much going to do, because he's never said or admitted to doing any wrong in anything ever. He's never admitted wrong in anything. All right. So from what the things I hear, if he did those things and he still doesn't admit he did wrong, he's probably going to do it again. So that's going to be the biggest concern for me for Edmonton from the Babcock perspective. On the ice perspective, I got concerns about Wallman playing up there. I would rather Shea. I don't agree with you. I don't think Shea is as good of a defenseman as Nurse. He
Defensively.
Even defensive. No, I don't think he is better than Nurse defensively. He'll be better than Nurse was last year. Last year was absolutely abhorrent. It was brutal.
Yeah, he was one of the worst. So
he was absolutely. It was obvious that everything had affected him by that point. But Shea is kind of a puck mover. He's not bad defensively. He's not like terrible, but he's less than average, and he's a good puck mover.
Is he below average?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he'd be around that 55-60% mark. No,
well, he's about 35%, somewhere around there. 30.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
from whatever.
But he's a good puck mover. There's a lot of things good to like about him. I don't mind the pickup at all for the price he was got. Like what he may not be as well as good defensively. He has other things that I think make him about equal to Nurse at half the price. You can't be unhappy about that. And you get Mukhamadullin. And I think I think a lot of Mukhamadullin. This is a player that has come a long way with a big lanky body, and he's just been growing into it. And last year he really started to look like he could blossom. I think there is some upside here that could be very impressive. I like him a lot. I don't know how good it's going to translate next year, but from the growth I saw, I thought it was a really good pickup, and he's going to be good on that bottom pair. So when you take into account that I think Shea is about equal and you got a Muckamadulin who is, I think, better than anybody they had on their third pair last year, they're better on D, I would say, for sure. So, and Murphy on the right side, prefer him on third pair, but he's a right D. It's hard to find right D.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. It's good. It's good. It's hard to find right D. He's a way better right D than a lot of players that play right D that you can get out there. So nothing wrong with that either. So on defense, I think as a whole, they could end up, they are probably better than they were last year. I would have to agree on that. As far as forward is concerned, how much love I poured on Dickinson. I think he's I think the world of Dickinson. I think he's one of the best shutdown centers in the league, period, regardless of the offensive potential, offensive anybody out there. He's amazing.
And the Oilers got him on a discount too.
Yeah, absolutely. What did they get? 4.5 or something?
$4 million.
$4 million. Sissons is making $4 million. That is, I know, insanely good contract. Yes, absolutely.
Like, remember we were talking earlier? It's like if I one guy in the UFA I wanted was Dickinson, I'd say 5.5, no problem.
Yep.
Give him 5.5, 7
Absolutely.
years, 6 years, or whatever. Give him the 37 range, 37 year age.
Imagine having Dickinson and Pinto on the same team, man. How the heck are you getting around that? Like, that would be some of the best that would be probably the best shutdown tandem centers in the league, close to it, besides maybe Lundell, Barkov, but that would be pretty huge. But anyways, you didn't, so.
No.
Yeah, no, I think I even might be underrating how much he means to this team, like how much he could improve this team, to tell you the honest truth. And I think the world of him. It's just Doc and Kapanen, yeah, it's okay. And I still think as I was talking to Tyler this afternoon, I think the biggest X factor for the Oilers is the progression of Savoy. Savoy, to me, if he can get to that point that he can play top comp, like really thrive on that over an 82-game schedule, that changes things a lot here. And I think the Oilers I think the Oilers are going to make the playoffs either way in the Pacific Division. But I think they have a better chance to make a run if Savoy can be that. Now, last year, I predicted Savoy would get about 35 to 30-some points, and that's what he got. Most of those were later in the season when there was a lot of pond hockey going on, and he was playing at a high level. But he did improve all year long, and that's what you want to see from any prospect at any time. I think he's more of a 50-point guy, 55-point guy. Is he going to be able to hit that next year? I don't know. I'm unsure. So that's an X factor to me. If they pick up a top 6 and Podkolzin can move down to that third pair with Dickinson, enormous. That'll be absolutely huge. Next thing is big X factor to me. I'm not sure Anderson's going to be able to handle the rubber that they could be getting in Edmonton. It's going to be more than he did. And I know that Carolina does give some higher chances, but Anderson is kind of made for that. It's not that he's a bad goaltender. It's that his stamina breaks down pretty quick if you throw a lot of rubber at him. And his side to side is not very good. For Carolina, if you watch it over again, there wasn't too many. They made sure that cross passes were not available a lot. They identified his weakness and didn't allow that weakness to come. Most of the high dangers came from breakaways, slot shots. Anderson's great at those. But if you start getting them side to side, there's trouble. Another question mark is, can Babcock get the Oilers in very quick time to be able to be a kind of team that can adjust their game in that system that he plays to be able to lessen those type of shots with Anderson? whatever Jari's weaknesses is everything. I think he ends up in the minors. I'm sorry, I have no faith in him at all. And I don't know what that kid's going to be like from Buffalo there. What's his name?
Devin Levi.
Devin Levi, right. A promising kid for a long time, put up some decent numbers in a team that was on a team in the AHL that didn't seem like it was all that bad. It was a pretty good team. So I'm not sure if Devin Levi does end up being what they hope he can be, then I think that's their best shot here to have a true number one for the Oilers. So I have my question marks, but I do see an avenue where it can be extremely successful, and I see an avenue where things can completely fall apart. One of them is Dickinson has a very difficult time staying healthy for the whole season. And if he's not in there, it gets mushy. And if it gets mushy like that and the team starts to slide, God help anybody that is on the target of Babcock. That's what I would say about the Edmonton Oilers there.
All right. So you're huge on analytics. What out of the three positions is the hardest to use analytics for?
Oh, that depends. Like out of the three, out of forward, defense, goaltending.
Yeah.
Oh,
goaltending, 100%.
Goaltending, probably, yeah. It's
because goaltending.
There's a lot of context stuff that analytics can't.
Yeah, like
you got to really know what you're doing. Yeah.
A goalie gives up 5 goals in one game. You're like, oh, he must have had a crappy game. But then you go back and watch that game, and you're like, all of them were 2-on-0s. He's like, he had no chance. And then you look back at some of the other saves he made. He stopped 3 2-on-0 chances. Like the team played like shit in front of him. But the stats won't show that. The analytics won't show that.
Look at what's his name last year for Boston, Swayman. If you look at his numbers, it's like a .905, like whatever. But if you watch the games, that dude was freaking phenomenal for them. He was amazing. Like, yeah, I think he should have won. He could have won the Vezina, and I would have been like, yeah, no problem, no problem.
And what I thought you were actually going to get into my point here. I was going to say, look at the beginning of last year. Remember back, which team was literally like, what the hell are we going to do when we start the season for goaltending? Do you remember? Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we have to go with Wedgwood as our number one because Blackwood's out for the first 2-3 weeks. Yeah. But, oh, shit. It's like, but look at Wedgwood. He stood on his head. And this guy's like, his numbers were like, and that's kind of just like the same with like, goalies are hard to judge. Like, it depends on the system that they play in front. I think Edmonton's system will be better this year. I like Knobloch. Knobloch is a very good coach. I agree. But I think Babcock's the guy that's like, hey, like, and again, if you watch that press conference, both Babcock, both Bowman are both saying, we're giving roles to our bottom 6. We're giving our bottom 6 guys jobs to do. So if we're going to play more of a team game, a team defense game, I think your goaltending with Levi, Jari, and Anderson, you play the hot hand. Like you have 3 NHL goalies. I don't think there's any arguments there. Frederick Anderson can still be an NHL goalie. Christian Jari's had some ups and downs, obviously, but he's still an NHL goalie. Like he'd be a very capable backup on any team almost. And Devin Levi is an upcoming goalie that is about to hit his stride here in the next year or so. It could be this year. So you got 3 guys that can play, and if one gets hot, you just ride him. If Levi gets a start and gets a win or gets a shutout, you just ride him for 6 games, and then he cools off. Guess what? Now we can throw the Stanley Cup winning goaltender that pretty much got him to the finals, Anderson. We can throw him in for a few games. He sucks balls. We yank him out. We put Jari in. So
yeah,
you got 3.
I know.
It's not the best on paper, but you got 3 guys that if they get hot at the right times, they could have steady goaltending 100%. You don't know what you're going to get because who would have thought Colorado had Blackwood and Wedgwood as the potentially the best goaltending duo in the NHL? And you watch those games at the beginning, Colorado was playing great hockey, but those guys weren't sitting around. Like, they had to, like Wedgwood, especially in the first few games. My God, he was on fire. He looked like Patrick Waugh out there. I don't know if you watched the first couple of games of that season, especially the Dallas game. Like Scott
I
Wedgwood.
remember when Wedgwood was in Dallas, though. Well, I was on the ice guys at that time. We were talking about how that he should get a better chance to be a number one at that time. So
like a
it
Devin Lee.
So it wasn't. Yeah, but I mean, he was playing in the NHL at that time. And, Mackenzie Blackwood, I always liked Mackenzie Blackwood. It's just he couldn't stay healthy. So I thought when he was back in New Jersey, he looked like he was going to be like a killer number one, but he just couldn't stay healthy. That was the problem. So it's not like either one were a complete surprise. And Colorado was extremely good at doing what I just said, like Carolina did. They play to the weaknesses of their goaltenders. They know where their biggest issues are, and they play in a way that keeps them away from those weaknesses. That's what you kind of got to do with goaltenders like that. So,
like, I'd say the middle part of the season for Colorado, like after the 12-13 game mark to probably the 60 game mark, Colorado's system was just on point. Like, it didn't matter who was in net. But at that beginning part of the season, Scott Wedgwood basically was
the
best goalie in the NHL for that first 2 weeks. Like, my God.
Yeah, I mean, some goaltenders like you said, they can go through spurts where they're just
they can get hot. Yeah.
Then a team gets, especially if it's teams that don't usually play that goaltender, so they don't really have a read on them. And I know that they do video all the time and stuff like that, but it's different than actually playing against them. I don't like this concept of having two guys and hoping one guy gets hot as much as people do. Unless you're a team like Carolina that can keep the shots down to a minimum like that. Colorado is kind of like that too. It's okay in the regular season, but to go into a playoffs like that, I don't think it's ideal. And that's what I think about the Edmonton Oilers. Especially when it hits the playoffs. And that's what it's all about here. I'm not saying that they won't make the playoffs. I'm not saying
no,
I wouldn't put any money on the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs this year. None. Absolutely. But when you're talking about it, like being the team that they're supposed to be trying to be, where they are serious cup contenders, I think there's a lot of question marks that could make this fall apart that way. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah, like Frederik Andersen's at that age where it's like, are you going to be able to? And he's got concerns, and you already talked about them. Christian Jarry is just not. He's missing the word consistent. He's not consistent with anything. He can have one really good game and then let in 6 the next game.
You don't even see too many really good games. Just hoping you get somewhere near an NHL goaltender out of them.
But Devin Levi is a guy that is, I think, a legit NHL goalie. Yeah, he's their X factor.
I don't know.
I think he is.
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know. We'll see.
In Buffalo, he never got much of a chance because you have UPL and then in there, and he got hurt at the beginning of the year, so he got some games in. But then when he got back in the net, then he just took over.
The times I did see him up there, I mean, I think the best I ever saw him was when they first put him in there when he was right out of Florida. He looked like, and that's common with goaltenders that are playing like their first games. They're so dialed in, they're running on energy. They do that. But so maybe they pulled one out of their ass here and found that. That's the thing. If he ends up being like just rock solid, which is, I don't think impossible. I don't think it's impossible at all that that's the case. I don't think so, because he was highly touted for a very long time. Like you said, just got stuck behind some goaltenders in Buffalo. Could you not beat out Luukkonen, though? I mean, could you not beat out Lyon, though? Like, why would you think that? Lyon is okay, but I mean, really, Buffalo thought so less that they would rather stick with Lyon than take him?
Well, Levi, they could put in the minors. Lyon, they couldn't.
I know, but they could have said something about it this year and said, okay, you're ready. They obviously didn't.
But then that's when
Lyon's
UPL got hurt.
Commodity. I mean, it's not like it's tough to move Lyon.
But UPL got hurt, and that was the problem. So they had to run Lyon and Levi, and then until he got back.
Well, they didn't run Levi, really. They ran that other.
Levi played a few games this year. I think he played.
He did play a few, yeah. I don't think it was too many. What was that? What's that other kid's name?
Alex Lyon, or which one?
The kid. He's not even a kid anymore. I think he's like 25. I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, he played 9 games this year. He didn't have hot stats, but again, depending when he played those, he's probably put in a bad situation. For Buffalo, you mean? Oh, I know.
Ellis. Colton Ellis.
Ellis, yeah.
Colton Ellis, yeah.
Yeah, that's the three. I mean, three guys they're going with this year.
Now I can understand them trading him and keeping Colton Ellis, because Colton Ellis is probably fairly comfortable if he's going to be. He just wants an NHL contract, and for the most part, he's pretty comfortable at what he will end up being. He'll probably be somewhere around this for his whole career, but of course, that wouldn't be the case for. But Alex Lyon, do you really need to keep a? How old is he? 34-year-old journeyman at 1.5 million.
I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Ellis hasn't played enough NHL games, so he can be sent to the minors still. Where Devin Levi and Alex Lyon cannot now.
Right.
Levi's got enough games.
I can see why they would trade him and keep Colton Ellis, because Colton Ellis more than likely knows he's going to be a backup at best in the NHL.
And he's in the flexibility of moving him up and down too.
Levi wants a chance to go further than that. Yeah. But I think you could have, if you really had faith, if they really had faith in Levi, it's not difficult to move Alex Lyon at 1.5. He's a journeyman. You know, he could probably find him and open up a space and say, you beat out Luukkonen now. If you can beat out Luukkonen, you can be our number one. But they didn't.
But Levi didn't play very good last year, like in the games he played. But I didn't look back at those games. I saw he played 9 games.
Right.
They're probably.
But now Edmonton is only seeing what Buffalo saw. Right. Yep. So they have a reason to believe something that Buffalo didn't believe. So it's now on them through their goaltending coaches or player development people, all the people that said, Devin Levi, he's going to be better than Buffalo thinks. That's really what you're saying here. Because Buffalo thought he was good, like Edmonton does. They move Lyon and they keep him. No doubt about it. I mean, so somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong.
Yeah. So I think Edmonton, they're the 3 sexiest goalies, but I think the Oilers don't need great goaltending. They just need good goaltending. You need a guy that can get a 900 save percentage every night.
I'd be happy with good. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. But consistently, I'm not sure.
So if your team can play better defensively in front of you, that's going to help the goaltending
a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah.
With Dickinson in the lineup, you got a better chance of that. They're actual defensemen. If Dickinson's out and they have the same bottom 6 that they had last year, which is pretty close to it, those defensemen are gonna be taking a shit kicking from the fans because they're gonna see Shea having the same problems as Nurse, and they're gonna be blaming Shea when it's not Shea and it wasn't Nurse. It wasn't Nurse. When Bouchard looks up and he's got nobody to pass to, like he did, and makes those like glaring eye test mistakes, they're not gonna be saying, "Oh, that's because of Doc," or "That's because of the guys that are on the ice that are forwards," because that's not what they do. That's not what your average fan sees. Actually, it's not what the media sees the way they
No.
talk about it either. So they say a bunch of nonsense about Bouchard not being good defensively, which is absolute bullshit. And they say things like Nurse is just the worst defenseman in the world, which is absolute bullshit, but it buys into it. And in Edmonton, they hear that noise everywhere they go. It's not like you're in Columbus or in, say, LA or something, and you hear about it and then you go off into the beach and nobody gives a shit who you are. It never ends in Edmonton. And then you got Babcock doing the same shit. Hopefully Babcock will start. Maybe this is it. And I never mentioned this yet about McDavid and Draisaitl. Maybe what they wanted from Knobloch was for Knobloch to be more forceful to management to get the shit taken care of. Because he said the team was an average team with high expectations. And maybe the frustration was not with how Knobloch coached as much, but with how much he didn't get on management about changing the situation. And maybe now he thinks Babcock is going to go to management and say, "I can't do anything with this freaking team. You got to blah, 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 blah." Maybe that's it. And if that's the case, okay, I can see that. I never thought of Babcock as that type of guy, but I could be wrong.
So I saw this on X, and I don't completely agree with it, but I do agree with the concept. So they were talking about, and you and Rico were kind of talking, and me were talking about this, I think, on X one day under one of the rooms. Mike Babcock is not really that great of a coach because he always had really good teams in front of him. We talked about the Detroit days, but he knows how to coach those teams. So you have to remember, I'm not saying the Oilers are the Detroit Red Wings of 2002, but they do have some similarities with the top players. You got Draisaitl and McDavid, who's number 1, number 2, probably, or in the top 5 for forwards in the league, 100%. And he kind of had Yzerman and Datsuk and Zetterberg for a while there. Number 1, number 2, probably arguably in the league at that time. Also, then you had Bouchard, which is not like a Nick Lidstrom, but he's their go-to guy that can do it. No one's gonna be like. So that's where I'm like, I don't agree with it. But he knew how to coach that team. Like they moved in a couple pieces in and out. Like, oh, Babs probably went to what's his name there in Detroit, the owner, and like, hey, I need a goaltender. Okay, we'll just trade and get Hasek back, and there we go. We want a Stanley Cup. So
it was a cap. It was a non-cap world too, so they could just go out and grab everybody. Yeah,
true.
I agree with you. I don't think you can say, okay, this guy's a bad coach because he had a really good team necessarily. That's not his fault. Did that team need to be coached? Like as much as you would say, could you have been a bad coach and still did well with that team? Probably. So I wouldn't say that he's a bad coach because of it. I don't know.
But Babcock did get the best out of some of those players that came in Detroit, like Chris Draper got traded for $1. Like, why the hell do we need this guy? Now look at him. It was one of the best defensive forwards on that team for 3-4 years in a row there. Like Chris Draper, like it's just like I don't give enough credit to Babcock, maybe because like
he hasn't did anything for 14 years, and when that team started going south, so did he. That's the thing I'm concerned about. Does that mean he's a bad coach necessarily? I think I see a coach who doesn't handle criticism of things going bad well. That's what I see. A brilliant coach
I see that.
who doesn't that. And that's what I'm concerned about with him. That's pretty much it. Because from what everybody I've heard, anybody that has talked about Babcock, one of the first things they will say is he is very good X's and O's guy and very good at systems. Everybody will say that. And then they say, but that's it. So, so I would say if you're saying that, then he contributed to that Detroit team. That'd be like saying Cooper's not a good coach because he had, that's not true. Cooper's a great coach.
No, that's a different situation. John Cooper is basically like, I think he's just as important as Kucherov and all them. Like, he's coached that team for many years. He knows the insides and outs. He knows what buttons to press now at this point. Like, you'll see Tampa Bay, they improved this year. They got John Carlson now on defense. Like, that was a big missing key they were missing last year. Otherwise, they could have made a deep run in the playoffs. They had Hedman healthy. Now they may have Hedman healthy and John Carlson. Like, F me.
Should be good, man. I mean, and Cooper didn't just build that system, today. Like, he ingrained that system. Cooper, the Tampa Bay system they play now will be built for life because of Cooper in the minors and in the NHL. Like, anybody moves in there from the minors, they assimilate real to it immediately because it's the same.
It's their identity.
And it's incredible. It's their identity. And he built it all. Can you say that about Babcock? Probably not. I mean, he had a lot of amazing coaches before him that built what they built there. And he was part of that. One thing I will say about Detroit in general, and Babcock did this too, young players, no matter how good you were, you had to start on the fourth line before you could ever move up. Very seldom did a player automatically get to play in the top six right away. Everything was built on you got to be able to play all through the lineup. And that'll be interesting to see if he takes that philosophy and puts it in Edmonton as well. Because I get the impression that his main philosophy is that every line plays the same, no matter what. We're not changing things up. We'll see if I'm wrong. But I think that's pretty much what his philosophy has always been. Kind of like you want to say with Carolina and Vegas, although they are changing things up a little bit. They are starting to allow their players to fly the zone a lot more. And that is because Brind'Amour, or the whole organization in general, has come up with a new philosophy of doing that flip pass into the neutral zone and fighting for the puck in the neutral zone rather than getting caught in the D zone. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Great move. Cassidy started doing it, and you're starting to see a change in philosophy with these defensive systems, and it's showing up in the analytics too. Guys that were really good before are not showing good, and that might be probably because the analytics aren't catching up with this new philosophy. So I'm keeping my eye on that. But we'll see if Babcock I'm fascinated by that team, period. That's really to kind of end this off. I'm fascinated by how successful that team does. And I am not going to say there is a path for me that they could win a cup. There's a path for me.
With their current team right now, probably not. But I think they have some flexibility in room so they could add.
I think if Babcock is as good as what they say, what I hear he is, and he's able to get that across to the players and they can fill in some holes, I think they can win a cup. And if see the ifs here, if Levi turns out to be, they knew something that Buffalo didn't about him, I'm not saying that can't be. I respect their goaltending coaches and all that kind of stuff like that. They went and got Ingram. I thought that was an excellent move. I really, that was fantastic. So they identified a player that did well, I think. I don't think Ingram played poorly for the Edmonton Oilers at all. So I'm not going to say no on that. I'm not going to doubt him. And if it does, then fine. Then I can also see an avenue where things fall apart. That's all I can say. Fascinating team to look at this year.
See, and I think Ingram is a perfect segue into the next part.
Yes, because he's one of the free agents available.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Look at that. I didn't even do that on purpose. Pat myself on the back for that fluke. So yeah, I got to write this down because I said I was going to do that. Wow, we talked almost for an hour.
We always talk long. Shows don't stay under 2 hours.
I don't care. I don't care the time. You don't like it? Too bad. All right. I timestamp stuff to him for. Okay, I didn't even bring up the free agents, but we can go right into Ingram because I think Ingram is an interesting one.
Yep.
I think he's from what. Okay, I'll say this and then I'll pass it to you, and you can agree with me or not. I think it's possible the Oilers kind of left him out to dry here a little bit, and or he left himself out to dry, waiting for the Oilers to make their decision on who they were going to choose. And by the time they figured it out, it was kind of too late for them. That's what I think. What do you think?
I don't know. Yeah. Like, I thought you heard the report too. Apparently, from a well-known source at Edmonton, Connor Ingram was going to side in Ottawa. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And then it didn't happen. We're like, what's going on? Then because we traded for Harrison before. But yeah, I think Ingram did play well in Edmonton. That's why I was kind of shocked they didn't re-sign him. But maybe he's asking too much because he did pretty decent. Maybe he's like, oh, I'm a $3-4 million goalie. I don't know. That's kind of my guess is he's probably outpriced himself.
Well, how much did they sign Anna?
For a backup goalie? $1 million. Like Frederick Anderson, $1 million.
I think they thought, well, if we see Ingram, we'll go with the cup guy. Anderson, yeah. I think
and cheaper.
It was a cap thing. Yeah. And they couldn't find a way to get rid of Jari's contract, so they didn't want to pay over they wanted to pay as little as possible, and so kind of messed him up a bit.
Yeah.
But where do you think he could end up now?
I have no idea because Connor Ingram is probably looking for at least a backup role at this point, and there's not very many spots out there for any teams really. Like maybe a third goalie if a team's looking to carry a third goalie.
Yeah, I think at this point he really has no choice but to be that third goalie that sits up and waits.
Well, there's not many goalies left on the market that are signed. You got Mrazek, Cam Talbot, Connor Ingram, Matt Murray, James Reimer. Those are the only guys that are not retired that are available to sign. 5 goalies, and there's no spots unless you're signing on a 2-year or 2-way deal or something, or be that third goalie for $1 million.
I don't think they have any cap space, but I think, because they got too many goaltenders because Allen was already talking about, they got Rittich in New Jersey, right? They took Rittich, so yeah, he doesn't have a spot there. He's probably going to have to look for a PTO and get $1 million to sit up in the stands and hope somebody gets injured.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much what
he might be sitting there. The only team that I can think of maybe he's sitting there waiting on is if Hellebuck is going to get traded, which it doesn't look like at this point.
We were talking about that before the show started. I think that's very likely. Yeah.
Maybe he's a backup plan there because they're like, hey, we can't get a Connor Hellebuck or we can't get a goalie back in a trade, but if we can sign Ingram and then they have what's his name there right now? Skinner. Maybe we'll just take the Edmonton duo from, well, not
Right.
really the duo. I guess Ingram is after, but take some former Edmonton goalies and see if we can bolster the front, and hopefully one of them gets hot and plays good.
And Tyler was saying
Possible.
today that Tyler knows a lot of NHL players, a lot, like knows them. So I didn't get into the backstory of why this is, but he does. And he said that, or at least he told me he does. I imagine he's telling the truth. Ingram is a big hunter guy. He loves to hunt, and Winnipeg is a good place for that. Hunting, fishing, all that kind of stuff like that.
Fishing, yeah. Hunting, you kind of have to go up north, but it's not like a terrible drive.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have the
it's all farm fields and this part
farm
here,
field.
and
A
then
fishing
and then
ton, right?
yeah,
Tons.
like you have to go up north for it, but yeah, there's hunting and fishing in this area for sure.
Because I know isn't that's what Bufflin would loved is fishing and stuff like that. So
Yeah, he's
he was a
here
big
all the time. He was
yeah,
just here last month for a fishing tournament in on Lake of the Woods.
right.
I think it was last
So
month in July. Yeah.
yeah, I think you're probably right. I think he's waiting for that Hollebuck move, and if that Hollebuck move comes in, then he probably gets the most money there and the most
Yeah.
term in Winnipeg.
You think
And
Cam Talbot's done?
he'll get one of those sit up in the press box and make your million in case we need you type thing, or jump in when both are tired or whatever.
And then James Reimer, I think he's retired this year. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he wants to play the roller coaster game anymore at this point, unless he finds a secure 1-year deal what you want. He might hold out like he did against Ottawa, or didn't sign with Ottawa, who needed a goalie at some point. But here's one that is kind of interesting me is nobody wants to take a chance on this guy, but he did play decent in the 5 games he played in, started 2 games. Matt Murray, 32 years old.
Yeah, again, that's going to be one of those. If he gets a contract, it's going to be one of those third goalies.
Yeah.
We'll use emergent. What do they call them?
E-bugs.
E-bug. Now you
Yeah, there's
can
no more e-bugs.
have an e-bug everywhere, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that get league men to ride the
Eat
plane and
hot
enjoy
dogs from the
life in the
rafters.
NHL and not really do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for Matt Murray. Man, if things could have just been so much better in Ottawa, and then in Utah, he looked good for a little bit, or not Utah, Seattle. He looked good there for a little bit, but then, man, he's only 32 years old, but I don't know how much longer he has in the NHL if he gets another contract at all. He might be.
He might end up
I think
going
he
to
might
Europe.
go over. Yeah, I think he might go overseas. That's where I was about to say. I don't think he takes an e-bug route. I think he'd rather. He at 32, you go overseas and try and get your game back on track, and then if you can show that, then maybe you get a contract offer.
Haven't heard any rumors of it, but I mean, even if he plays in the minors, he'll get max. He'll get the
Yeah.
450,000 down there in the minors. So if he wants to stay in North America, he won't make bad, you know. So it wouldn't be too bad.
I don't think he wants to ride the bus. I wouldn't
Maybe
want to ride the
not.
bus.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know him personally, but you can take a logical stance that at 32, maybe he doesn't want to be riding buses anymore. Yeah. But don't you do that in Europe a lot of the time anyway?
No.
No.
Well, even if you do, in the SEL,
it's so quick because they're so close to each other.
Yeah. All the cities are the size of Ontario or less, so
right.
It's easy to get around, and it's mostly plane rides. I think who was the guy? He was talking about it. The guy that got fucked over by the Rangers by sitting up the whole year, Calvin Dehan. He said that Dehan, he had one game where they had to stay overnight. Otherwise, they flew back home every game. And he was talking about the SEL. So they said that it's great to play over there.
Travel's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move to, let's say, Vladimir Tarasenko. 34 years old, coming off a, $5 million contract or something like that? 5.5 or something?
Something like that.
20-some goals.
It was under 5, I think.
Doesn't play defense at all, but can score you goals. Weird player. Basically a third line player that doesn't play third line. Still got a shot. Still can make plays. Decent on the power play. Kind of a filler guy that, can score some points for you. And he's still out there waiting on something or waiting on term, or I don't know. I have a hard time putting a place to where he may end up. Where I think possibly there could be teams interested, but he probably is still looking to be competitive. So maybe those teams are not the most competitive teams in the world. Where do you see him going? Where do you think it's possible he could end up?
I think he wants to go a contender. So yeah, I think it's the lower end teams offering him stuff, but he's like, it's like maybe there's a spot open in Edmonton here. Like maybe I can get in there. And Edmonton's like, well, we're kind of tied up to the cap. I don't know if we can afford you. Let's see if we can do something. Maybe like I feel like Edmonton would be a good fit. Yes, you want more defensive players there, but Tarasenko can score you 20 plus goals. And beside McDavid or Draisaitl, he's scoring maybe 30. So who did he play with last year as a centerman in Minnesota?
Yeah, he doesn't have.
And he scored 23 last year.
He's sort of like an off the rush type guy that I don't know.
He's a guy that's won.
I wouldn't want to waste my cap on him if I'm Edmonton personally, but if it happens, it happens. I guess I'd rather wait and see if things, because I don't think there's going to be as much parity this year. I think there's going to be more teams fall off this year than last year. And you might be able to scoop up like a Raquel from Pittsburgh. I'd much rather have that than even consider giving him $5 million. That's for sure.
Remember, we have 84 games this year, so everybody's points are going to be inflated a few extra points. So where you thought, oh, it's 96 to make the playoffs, now it's like probably 98, 100. Because that's an extra win, basically, if you split it in half. Above 500, so another 3 points added onto the bubble roughly on the cutoff line.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that too. I remember I was looking at the sports betting for I sent it to you. I don't know. You didn't really respond. So I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I didn't, but yeah. That was on at 10 million. I wonder if it would be the same for 5 million. I imagine it would be, right?
Oh no. I was talking about the betting on over under for teams points for the end of the year. A lot of them were capped at like below what they did last year. It's like I was like, I think they forgot there's 84 games this year. Everybody should be bumped up 2 points or something. So I was like, some of those might be like a steal. I don't know what they are now, but when I first looked at them, I'm like, I
don't really bet those too often because they're like, I'd rather bet you get a better price on miss the playoffs or make the playoffs. It's a future bet, so you're only getting even money on it, and it's just not worth it unless it's like a slam dunk, one that's real. You put a ton
I think the one I saw there, I think they had New Jersey only getting like 80. The over under was like 83 or 84 points. I was like, I think they're gonna get over that.
Are they though?
I think so.
I don't.
They had a lot of injuries last year. They were just
screwed. Yeah, they did have injuries. Yeah, you're right.
They were basically Florida. They're just like
Hughes out there. Yeah, and they also had really poor shooting percentages by a lot of teams. But I honestly think that's Sheldon Keefe. I swear to God, that guy is just a terrible coach.
Am I stupid? Who does New Jersey have for goalies?
That's the thing. Goaltending is an issue. They have Allen, Dawes, and Rittich.
So they basically have Oiler goaltending. They're hoping one of the guys gets hot. They're hoping Dawes becomes the number one and makes that jump.
Rittich had a really good year last year. Allen really blew the second half, and Dawes, I don't think people keep on talking about this Dawes kid, and honestly, I'd have more faith in. I don't have much faith in that kid.
I have more faith. I don't have UPL. You mean? Because you're not really sold on him, you said.
Oh no, I would definitely like UPL over him for sure. I mean, it's not like I don't think UPL's a bad goaltender, really. I just don't think he's like, carry you to the play unless you have a really tight system that like Carolina or whatever. I don't think he's going to be the guy that takes you to the cup by any stretch. That's for sure. Yeah.
So Tarasenko, basically, I think he's going to try and go to a contender. If not, he settles for a 1-year deal, probably with like a Sharks or something, or somewhere where he can.
Sharks. Yeah, I was just trying to think.
Or Chicago. Maybe Chicago.
Team? Yeah, maybe he does that. Maybe he does
a
1-year deal or something November. And just goes. I bet you the Islanders are calling it. I don't think they have any cap space. Like, what team needs? I was thinking maybe Nashville.
That's just...
maybe Nashville.
That's Saros gets hurt, but man, that's Saros.
No, I mean for who gets hurt?
Oh, for Tarasenko.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, like
because Jonathan Marsh. So, yeah, they don't want to take. They don't want to take. They got Matthew Wood on the right side. I don't think that's good. He's a left winger. Yeah, I could see Tarasenko going to Nashville. That's where I put him up.
Nashville, yeah, or even maybe a Vegas. Like,
yeah,
if they can get rid of Hill, if they get rid of Hill somehow.
Yeah, apparently they said they're just going to roll with Hill and try to hope he can get better or something. I think they think Hill's going to get better now that Cassidy is gone, because Hill is one of the most laid back people you will ever want to meet, to the point of annoying to some coaches. Like, he doesn't take anything serious, and if you don't let him be that, he seems to suck. You just got to let him be it. He's very aloof. He doesn't take anything serious. He's not a guy that looks like he's competing, but when he's in the zone like that, he plays well. And I think it worked okay when they went for the run last year, but I think the energy in the room might have got to him, and I think they're kind of wondering if that's the case and that he'll be better next year. So I don't think that's possible, happening. Yeah. But Wood, I love this Wood kid, but I don't like him on the right side at all. I think he's got to play the left side. So, but they got Colton Ross to play that. Colton Ross can go down the middle, go down the Ross Colton. Why do we say Colton Ross? Ross Colton. Just because I see Colton first, and that's a first name, I guess. I don't know. So I can think maybe Tarasenko. They got room. Maybe that's a place.
Yep.
But out of all the teams, it's the only team I really see. Do you think Dallas has no space at all? I know they need some forwards.
Philadelphia could maybe add another one because they have room.
They got too many right wingers, though. Like, way too many.
But Tarasenko can play left side. It's not as effective, but...
Yeah.
Actually, no. He plays left side in the power play, I think. I'm just trying to remember from the power play setup when he played in Ottawa. I think he plays left side in the power play because he had that one-timer from the slot. Yeah, he plays left side in the power play.
He did win a cup in Florida. I don't think Florida has any space or real big need for him right now.
No, they don't have any space left. I think positions are put out of, or just they're getting, a lot of people get fixated on left, right shots so much. Like
There's a lot of
so
guys
many of the,
that can't play it that are
well,
just straight right wingers.
and if you sit there and you watch video, and a lot of pros have said this, like in today's NHL, you don't play the left side or the right side anymore. It's like they're talking about, it's like when you're going back on defense, the first forward back, your F1, is playing center. It doesn't matter if you're a winger or not. You're the first forward back. You're playing the center position to eat up the middle of the ice, and then and then your guys are going to come back and collapse into the left, right of the slot. So at the face-off, you're in position, but if the puck breaks out and you're battling for a puck and you get out of position, like whoever the first forward up the ice is going to play center. Like look at who was a good example? Marner. Marner was playing wing, and he was the first guy in on the puck all the time, and he's playing center at that point, playing behind the net. He's not
Yeah,
playing
Marner can
wing.
do that though.
Oh, I know,
Marner's amazing. Like
but
not everybody
if
can do what Marner does.
but if
Try
anybody
putting
out there is
Panarin
listening,
on the right side. Panarin turns into an absolute garbage dump. He's terrible. They needed him to play
yeah,
the right side when he was in New York, and he's just not the same player at all. He can't do it.
yeah.
He doesn't.
If you're
He just
playing,
doesn't do it. Kevin Fiala is another one. He can't play the right side to save his life. It's there's
you
just
have to watch.
players that are very much like that.
Yeah, like one thing I would say is next time you watch some hockey games, pay attention to some of that, because a lot of, not everybody, but a lot of systems, you're gonna see. Well, it's like what's you'll notice on the game. You're like, why the hell is that guy out guarding the point? Like it's like there's guys that are always out of position, and a lot of
They've
players
got to
have
move
talked about it
positions a
now.
little bit, but but generally will stick to their dominant position. They'll
To the
switch.
Don,
That is a system thing. If you're first on the puck, you play a center's role until you don't have to.
yeah.
But
Well, I think that's in any
want to
system,
make sure you don't. Ideally, you don't want that to be the case. And then they'll
and
start to, when they get possession, they'll move around to the better spots where they're supposed to.
yeah, there's a
Where
guy talking about this, and he was even talking about how a lot of defensemen, especially in the power play, will play a center position. They said that
Mhm.
you'll see like like an Eric Carlson, he'll go in, take the puck all the way in the south. He'll play behind the net for 20 seconds, and like
Yeah,
he's your F1 going in technically, so he's playing the center position while
right,
the centerman's playing the point, and then you switch off when you can.
right,
So
right, right, right.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of it that
it
happens
can
where
happen, but to ask somebody to play that position on a regular basis all the time in the end is a different thing than just taking up a spot certain times during the game. It's way different.
yeah,
And there's some guys
not
that are really good at it. It quite often depends on what type of game you play as well. There are some guys that play usually not equal on both sides, but equal enough that they can play both sides.
yeah. I'm not saying like every player does, but I'm just saying you see a lot of that. And then when you start paying attention to it, it's just like the forward lineups don't really matter much, because you might be as the centerman out there. Like look at, like, I'll use Ottawa as an example. I watch all the time. Claude Giroux doesn't play center; he plays wing, but he's always taking the faceoffs because he's the number one faceoff guy in the NHL.
Well, he
And
was a
when
center for years, so yeah.
he was, but he's not fast enough, so he can't play center anymore. And
Yeah,
and
now he's not.
he takes every face off, or he's on the ice. And when he kicks out from the face off, if they lose it, he'll stay center. He might stay center, or if there's pressure right away, like he has to stay in the center and play center until they can switch off. But I'm just saying more teams or people start focusing on left shot, right shot on these
It's not
wings.
the
I don't
same
think,
as it was back in the day where you just go
yeah.
up and down the wing, but still,
Well,
it is. There are.
it depends on teams. There are teams that need that. Like Tampa Bay, they're a really good board team. They play along the boards. You need left and right shots for 100% with them. A team like
Yeah,
maybe like a Calgary or something that plays more wants to, well, not so much now, but they used to play like more of a north-south game. Didn't give a shit. It's like Kadri would be your first guy back as a centerman, or you'd see back then Matthew Tkachuk. He'd play center lots on the ice. He'd be the guy in the bumper position on the power play. Like he's not. It just depends.
They're playing 1-3-1. It's a little different, but
Yeah.
anyways, okay. So I say right now the only team I see is Nashville, and again, back to Winnipeg. Winnipeg would sign Terrace. He could go to Winnipeg tomorrow if he wanted to.
Yep.
So you have that. What's the next guy we're looking at here?
One guy I'm kind of surprised is still not signed. I'd say probably more like Eli how do you say it? Tolvanen or Tolvanen? I can't remember to say it. Tolvanen, right? Tolvanen. That's how I can't never pronounce it. Ellie Tolvanen. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. A lot of people I saw on TSN and Sportsnet, they're both talking. They're just like, how is this guy not signed on a team at this point?
It's probable. This is a guy for sure that I think it's term. And because he's 27 now, right? So I think for him it's term. And again, there's probably teams out there that want him, but there are probably, let's look at some teams that maybe, what are some teams that maybe are going to have guys, I haven't looked at that are going to go on IR and it's going to give them space.
Mark Brown says he wants term,
He wants term.
But
and he wants term and he wants to be on a competitive team, which is usually not a good combination.
No, because they want to be more flexible, especially a team that's in a cup window.
Right, especially for a guy who's a solid defensive player that's about average offensive. He can do a lot of things for you, but is he a game changer? Not really, but he's still a solid player.
Yeah. I wonder what his analytics look like defensively. Because a lot of people are high on him.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be happy to have him as my third line winger, or he can play up and down the lineup. It's a good guy to have, no doubt about it. It's just
so it sounds like a guy like Edmonton could use then. They need
Edmonton probably doesn't want to give term though.
Yeah. Hey.
And I think Edmonton has their eye on a big top 6 guy within the season, like a Raquel or somebody like that.
DeBrusque.
I really think that's the reason why they're not doing it. They're possible, looking for a guy who's a solid top 6. Like they're gonna go big if they can do it. And I think they want to keep the flexibility in that. I mean, there's teams that are obvious that just need filler guys as they rebuild, like Vancouver, and he probably doesn't want to go there.
That Jaime's guy. That's what Rico just said. Maybe he's not a Jaime's guy.
He's not a Jaime's guy. Just trying to think of some teams that are going to have, that are capped out possibly and have players going on the IR or something like that. They could open up some space and be able to.
What about Pittsburgh? Don't they have space?
Probably
would. They give him term? I just thought of Pittsburgh. I was just like, wait a second. You're going to have Malkin on his Letang off the books here soon. Malkin, you give a guy a term like that. And then if he does good, you could trade him and get more assets too. Yeah, they have 13 million. I think Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense. Well, how many one ways do they have though? Oh, that's your problem. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on one way. That would be why then. Not who are you not going to lose on waivers? You know. Oh, they got one guy that can be sent down on two-way. Benjamin Kindle. So then they have 13 forwards. Now you could probably get him. Got the space. And that is like whatchamacallit, oh my god, can't think of the GM's name right now. Kyle Dubas type of player too. Like sign a guy, get him up, get his value up, trade him, get some picks.
Which one was that?
Or
sorry, I'm trying to look at players that are going on LTIR in 2026 while you're talking.
What's his name there? The Tolvanen. I can never say it right. It's like one of those names that always gets me. The only ones I know for sure would be Petrangelo, but apparently,
yeah,
I saw again that he's training to come back.
25. No, he's not. He's not. No way. They don't have anybody.
Why is Bunting still there? Would he do a PTO? Oh, of course he'll do a PTO anywhere. If I'm assuming anybody that offered him a 1 or 2 year deal at this point, he would have signed it. So nobody has.
This game is slipped a bit.
It slipped a bit, but I think, if he was offered,
I honestly think both of them are holding out and waiting for someone holding their breath to come out, and all of these players, at least 2 of them, are going to Winnipeg. That's what I think. They're going to fill out their roster with players like this.
Well, Winnipeg doesn't have that much cap space, do they? It would be pretty close. Let's see. Fuck, I hate Puckpedia's new thing here. I hate it. Winnipeg. Yeah, they only have 4 million left.
I cannot get anything on. They only have 4 million, did you say?
Yep.
Oh, well, I can't do it either.
And then that's with Bjork in there. So Lambert, can they send Lambert down? He's on. Oh yeah, he's only 22. So Noah Gregor, they won't really care if they lose him. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, they could sign one maybe. Like they'd take Tarasenko, 100%.
I think they would take any one of them that would want to go. They would say they would go there. I think they would take any one of them.
I'd take anybody. If anybody wants to play in
whoever
Winnipeg.
wants to
you
go
want to
there.
play here? Let's go.
That's kind of how it is with them. Like they just, if you're NHL level and you want to come here, yeah, welcome in, and we'll have you. I'll take you.
We'll even pick you up at the airport. I was watching a podcast and they were talking about Scott Gomez when he got traded to Ottawa. And then the one guy was like, yeah, I was working at the airport at the time. And he's like, that's a guy you want to go and have a beer with. The stories and how his thing is like, he landed in Ottawa and he's like, hey, Scotty Gomez. And he's like, hey, bud, what's going on? He's like, is somebody picking me up or what's going on here? He's like, I don't know. I just work at the airport. Man, that'd be a guy sit down and talk to his NHL career.
Yeah. I think some of these guys that we're talking about, they might have overpriced themselves and screwed themselves.
Yeah.
And now they're going to end up taking.
They're going to have to be like, I'll take a PTO now. Anybody want to give me a PTO?
Or just, yeah, they're going to have to just take a filler spot somewhere.
What's going on with Jeff Petrie? Is he done?
I probably PTO material there.
Yeah, because I feel like he could still maybe play one more year. He might have one more year left in him. Because that was one guy I heard come up. Curtis Lazar, I'm kind of shocked that he hasn't found a home.
He'll take his million somewhere. The guy's been making $1 million for like how many years in a row now? He just takes $1 million, goes wherever they say, whoever will pay him for it. Does Boston have any space?
Let me double check. Boston. Let me go to cap wages. Pedia's pissing me off. Boston has about $6 million.
They could do it.
How many two ways do they have? They have one guy, Frazier Minton. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they have 12 guys and one. Yeah, they could add a 13th forward.
That seems right. I mean, but then are you gonna you got where is he? He's primarily a right. They're really giving Hagens a shot there. Where's he gonna play? Who's Newtonoff? You want to play him fourth line? Kind of leaves who's Newtonoff as the fourth forward there. If you're going to play him, I don't know if they're going to be jumping up and down for a guy like that, but I mean it's kind of a spot, I guess. Colorado don't, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, apparently they have 1.5 million. Let's see though. Let's see what it says. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I got 404. That's it.
Because they have one more RFA to sign. Bartikov. He's going to arbitration though. That'll be this time.
How much is Seattle? Maybe Seattle just keeps him after it's all said and done. Yeah, maybe he just ends up staying there.
Oh, Seattle has lots. Yeah, they have the second most. They have 20 million. Detroit has 21 million. Vancouver is 19. Philadelphia is 15. Calgary 15. Columbus 14. So those are the teams that can afford them. Out of all those teams, the most competitive right now is probably Columbus, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Of those three. Maybe even Columbus might be the better one. Better chance.
I thought about Columbus too. Yeah.
Columbus might not be a bad spot. One thing I like to check too is see how many players are in contract years. And you got Marchenko that's going to be on a mission this year to make sure he cashes in, or if he gets traded, or if he wants to stay. Like, we really hadn't heard too much from him. So you got Kent Johnson on the contract on becoming an RFA. And then you got Goodbranson.
Yeah, see, again, where's the room for him? There's no real room. There's no real room for him on that lineup. It's actually, I was just about to do an article on Columbus. It's actually
We need,
sneaky, not all that bad of a lineup, especially if Kent Johnson can have a resurgence. Um, but I don't really see any room for him on there. Like they don't need him.
always that's the team that's always, if you gotta want to find a team that's gonna pop, see how many are players coming off entry level deals or coming off their second contract that are going to contract year. They're gonna play balls to the walls that year.
Yeah, I mean they're good to take for offensive numbers because their teammates will feed them pucks, especially for empty netters and stuff like that. And quite often, especially if they're kind of poor character guys, when it's like 4-1 or 5-1, they'll play their balls off to get a couple more points. Do the Jeff
Oh,
Skinner. Do the
I
Jeff
got a
Skinner.
spot. I got a
Oh,
spot
you
for you
got a
that
Cooper, man. Okay, what?
I got a spot. St. Louis. They could technically put Adam in. There you go. They could take Tarasenko too. They could take one of them, either one. There's a spot there.
Well, no, he's not. Tarasenko's not going back to St. Louis.
Probably not. No, he
That's
might.
never. That's never happened. No, no.
Why?
That bridge was definitely burnt. No doubt about it. There's no way he's going there. No, they fucked him over, or at least in his mind, anyways. They did, anyways.
Well, we got. So you got there. What other? Here's another one too, because I know he just played in Ottawa and he never got even a qualifying offer from them. Was Arthur Kelyev? I know he had some issues in the
Not
media
a good
about.
skater with a great shot. That's a bad thing about him.
Yeah, I'm just kind of shocked he isn't signed somebody didn't take a chance on him as a 13th forward, or even a two, or he probably doesn't want a two-way contract. He's done riding the bus.
He's probably waiting to get. He'll probably end up signing a two-way contract somewhere. I think, well, it's something we didn't mention, and it's possible that he's holding out in hopes that it doesn't happen. For Tovanen,
Yeah. That could be a fit in St. Louis.
Detroit.
Ooh. I don't know if I'd want to go there.
No, that's the thing. That's probably the team. He's just praying he doesn't have to go there.
Rico says, nah, nobody likes him. Probably because nobody likes him. Maybe he's an asshole. That's possible.
No, I think he probably held out yeah, he's one of those tweener guys that are very valuable in the right situations, but he's not a be all end all type guy. I'd say Detroit. Detroit's probably calling him every day. How about now? How about now? How about now? They got Mason Appleton there.
I think Detroit's going to sign David Perron again, though.
Well, apparently not. Perron doesn't want to go back there.
He doesn't?
No.
Damn.
What?
That's bad.
Why would you?
That's where he wanted to be traded back to, I think. That's from what some of the insiders
Yeah, he was
said.
okay with going back there. But now with all that situation going on, it's
Put David Perron in Edmonton. There you go.
All right, who else do we got? I think we burnt this one to death. Like, I think the best bet is he goes back to Detroit. That's my thinking. Unless somebody opens up space or something. Maybe Pittsburgh, like you said.
I think St. Louis. Like, why not? They got a bunch of things put together. Might as well add another one in there.
I didn't.
A lot of people would call them the if team. If.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. We just did. Zach and I just did the Central last time, and that's what we call them the X team or the if team. Yeah.
It's like if Connor McMichael actually plays takes a step and plays good. If Mason Tavish can actually
Learn how
get
to
back to
skate.
form without Leo Carlson or
Learn
anybody
how to
like that.
skate.
Learn how to skate.
I don't think they need more wingers in St. Louis. That's a problem. If you're throwing a dart at the board for McTavish to be a center, then you're throwing a dart at the board because I just don't think he's got
How
enough
much did
speed to play
McTavish
up the
play?
middle.
Well, McTavish played. So he spent 21% of the season on left wing, and then the rest is center.
Yeah, the end was at almost all on the wing. But I mean, they're going to try him there. If you take him, who's coming out? Well, how much cap space do they got?
Oh, they got 6 mil, over 6 mil. They got only 12 forwards signed. They have 2 guys on entry level deals. So unless they beat him out, like they're obviously not going to, so you send them back down.
Who's he taking out? John. He's going to bump Berggren down out of the lineup.
Nathan Walker.
Nathan Walker is on Puckpedia anyways. His press box already.
Well, he's on a one-way, so he'll have to go through waivers to go down anyway.
Well, yeah,
Or he's a 13th forward, right?
He's in the press box, yeah. So then you're knocking Berggren down to the press box. Is he that much better than Berggren to do that?
Well, you got Thomas, Burnett. Yeah. Who's the centerman? So it's going to be if McTavish stays as center, which he probably won't, which I think you're right. What about McMichael? Are they going to put him as center?
Michael can play center. I think they'll try everything there.
And Hugh Suter, he'll be a center.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, it's a fairly deep lineup in a way. You know, like
it's the
Suter down on the fourth line is pretty awesome to have. You know?
Oh, I don't think he'll be fourth line. I think he'll be that at least third line center.
Well, then you move. Where's Dvorsky going? You're all see. That's what I mean. They're already full.
Dvorsky can be sent back down, so let him cook in the AHL.
I don't think so. I think they like him. I think they like him up.
Well, if he beats somebody out, 100%. But if he doesn't beat somebody out, then he's going down. He can easily be put down. He's the guy that's like, hey, unless you can clearly beat somebody out, you're going down.
He can also play wing too. I think he'll beat Berggren out. I'm not a big Berggren guy. I think they'll beat him out. They'll put him on the right side and Suter up the middle. And then
how did Ross Johnson do last year with Anaheim? Basically,
Ross Johnson.
Well,
that's the guy you can sit out. Fuck, you don't need Ross Johnson in there.
Yeah, he didn't really do too much. He had 107 penalty minutes, so I guess he was more of the enforcer guy on the team that can fight, I guess.
Right. He'll bounce in and out of the lineup probably.
So that's the guy be in the press box. Walker will be sent to the minors. So I don't know. I think he could.
Ross Johnson's bad, dude. Really bad. You only put him in the lineup for certain situations. What else do we got? What's the next guy? I know there's a couple
another guy like who's had really shitty crap a couple years, but I think under the right circumstances could make definitely a bottom six role is David Kemp. That guy, Toronto ruined him. Fucking Leafs went over there from LA.
Another press, or goes back to
where
Europe or something like that. I mean, Jonathan Drouin, is he gonna sign anywhere?
He got bought out, so probably PTO for him. Mark Brown says Logan Stanley. Yeah, we talked about him.
Oh, Logan Stanley. We didn't say where he might go. I think he screwed himself waiting for turn.
You know where it would be funny? You thinking what I'm thinking would be funny? He ended up back in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think they're too stacked. They don't need him. That's one
On deep. Let's see.
place where they don't need anybody. I could see that. I could see maybe St. Louis if they don't have faith in that Lindstone kid. He could be their seventh guy, but like for 2 million or something like that. That I could see. They could even fight it out with Tyler Tucker. I could see that.
Sandberg, Ferraro, Morrissey, DeMello. Yeah, Winnipeg's D is not actually that bad at all.
No, it's not.
Except,
it's good. Yeah.
Except for like the only guy that I don't like as much as Neil Pionk. Like he's had really good seasons. He's had really good stretches, but he's also had some really
good season.
Terrible
last season. He was all right. He was number
he's
one.
Streaky.
Like,
that's
he's
the
a
thing.
top pair guy. I don't mind him. I don't mind him. They don't play him in the top pair, but
he played 22 minutes. He averaged 22
minutes
on the ice.
Defenseman you could have. That's for sure. I don't mind him. Stanley, another Detroit guy. They love those guys like that. I could see him going there.
They have Hayden Fleury. I forgot he's going to be the 7th D.
Yeah. Yeah, he could go back to Winnipeg as a 7th D maybe, but I mean, I think he's looking for a roster.
No, yeah.
I just don't see too many teams out there that need him for a roster spot. The only, again, Detroit, back to the same old again, and it's not really a roster spot. It's fight for a roster spot.
Winnipeg Jets is going to be interesting. I loved watching. I watched 3 games last year in Winnipeg, and the guy that I thought was amazing, other than getting to see Taves live for the first time, thought that was cool. But then was Nikita Chiprikov. I love his game. I want to see. I think he's going to make a big jump this year.
Mark Brown thought Drury was going to give Stanley a 3-year deal. What was that? Sorry, what guy?
Chiprikov. So big Russian center or winger. He played a few games this year.
Chiprikov for Winnipeg. Yeah.
Yeah, if he could play more nasty, this guy'd be unstoppable. He's kind of like inching his way in the NHL. If he got a nasty side to him, it'd be amazing. Oh my god. I did like it. I watched a few games. I liked what I saw. He's not really big. Sorry, he's only like 5'10". But he plays like a big guy in front of the net. Look, it's hard to. I don't know. You just have these feelings about guys when you see them play. Where is he from?
He didn't put up much in the minors.
No. Yeah, in the Moose, not much. But he's a guy that can. I don't know. I just have this feeling. Just mark my words on it. I think Chiprikov. I think. I have this feeling he's gonna break out this year. I really liked how he played. Like, what did he average this year? Let me click on him. He played 11 games, no points. Yeah, in the preseason, I watched him and he was really good too. And they had in the AHL, he did crap. What is going on with him? That's where the eye test might fail you when you see a guy play really good. I saw him play towards the end of the season too, and he was really good. From what I saw, he only averaged 9-11 in the NHL, but I remember seeing him and Taves play together.
I think Duran goes to like some ass team like Vancouver,
Phoenix. You'll sign in Phoenix. We need another NHL team.
We'll go to a bottom dweller.
Just resurrect Phoenix Coyotes.
He just wants to golf. He doesn't want to make the playoffs or anything like that. He just wants to get a paycheck and golf. That's all he wants. That was so funny when he got signed by the Islanders and they talked to him, and the first thing he said was, "Yeah, I talked to some guys who heard that golfing was really good before the season starts." That's what you're fucking saying, Jesus. Unbelievable. Anyways,
Patrick Laine.
PTO and KHL.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
PTO KHL. The guy's out of shape. It's done. Done. Too bad.
I want to see him
Really,
at PTO
really
in
too
Winnipeg
bad.
then. I want to see
What's
a PTO
that?
in Winnipeg. I want to see a PTO in Winnipeg. I just want to
No,
see
I
what he
don't think
has.
he's ever going back there. No. It's another Burt Burge there.
Not with management. It was more or less with Wheeler and
Yeah, which is, and Shifley and everything. He said there was a click and he had a lot of parting words on the way out. So, yeah, no.
maybe. Winnipeg loves their line though.
Yeah,
The fans would want him back.
They
But
want him back until they saw him skate now and be like half dead halfway through the game, not be able to finish a shift. Then they wouldn't want him back anymore.
oh, here he's on
James
social
Van
media a lot.
Riemsdyk. Somebody signed him for $1 million. He's 38 years old. He might be retired now. I don't know if anybody will give him a shot.
No, I think he's wanting to play one more year. I remember because he had a decent year, but I didn't.
Go
Somebody
play with
asked
his
him,
brother in Pittsburgh. His brother's in Pittsburgh. They can play together for 1 year.
he can go play for some bottom feeder team on a cheap deal, and then get traded for some assets to a contender.
I think Pittsburgh. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think he signs to play with his bro. It is his bro, right? Van Riemsdyk and
Trevor Van Riemsdyk, James. Yeah, I think they're
Washington.
brothers.
I'm pretty sure they're brothers.
They're related. I don't know 100% if they're
Riley
brothers.
Smith. Riley
Riley
Smith is still out there.
Isn't he so old at this point though? Like
35, yeah.
oh, he's not that bad. Vander Kane. Yeah, nobody wants him. You'll be
Vander
lucky to get a
Kane,
PTO.
no.
Maybe.
John Klingberg?
Actually, Vander Kane might be like a Philadelphia guy. Just go in there and piss everybody off.
Oh, Talkett's head would explode. Rick Talkett's head would explode if he watched that guy on the ice. My God, he would never see the light of day. No way. I think Klingberg could find a home somewhere. Still.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many D in there. There's no D spots left. It's like we need to like resurrect the remaining free agent. There's teams there need right D, but
these guys are all probably PTOs now. Klingberg,
like Jeff Petrie, like Nick Leddy's a left shot. Patrick
Klingberg, if it's anything to do
Colin
with money,
Miller.
Klingberg would probably make more money in Sweden if he went back to Sweden, if it was a money thing.
I'd rather take chance on Colin Miller probably than Klingberg. To play a bottom role. But yeah, I think it's even with PTOs, like what teams are going to sign them to PTOs? They're not going to be able to. They don't have cap room or they don't have the space.
Well, you're not really getting a contract until you beat somebody out, right? That's really what you're doing on a PTO.
I don't think you're hoping for a PTO. You're hoping for a big injury going up to training camp so you can get a PTO and then maybe get a contract because there's only so many PTOs that are going to be given out. Like you're not bringing a guy in unless you think you can sign him. Jake Bean.
No.
What happened to that guy?
Absolute ass, man. Holy fuck, he's horrible. No way. Anaheim will take Klingberg. They need right defense, and they don't seem to care about playing defense. Anaheim. I bet you he gets it. They got a bunch of kids that are a perfect spot for him.
If somebody needs a fighter, you got Derek Forbert still there.
I think he's done, yeah.
Evgeny Dadonov. He's pretty much at the point where
he already signed in the KHL or somewhere. I can't remember.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's right. I just remember that. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Klingberg goes
Thomas Nolan.
to. They can't play Drew Hellison up on the top pair, for fuck's sakes. That's brutal, dude. Oh my gosh.
What about Marcus
So bad.
Johansson? What happened to him?
He went to Sweden.
Yeah, he went to Sweden. That's right. I
Like
forgot that was right at the beginning.
Early in the free
Yeah.
agency. Yeah, he did.
I think it was before free agency, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like right away. He had made up his mind already before that.
Yeah, less travel, more money. I wonder if Kopitar I know Kopitar is retired from the NHL. Is he playing overseas this year? I wonder if he's playing 1 or 2 years over there.
Ducks need to take Schneider, Mark Brown says. I don't mind Schneider, actually. I don't mind him as a third. He's probably better than what they got there.
Oh, Adam Henrique. That's a guy that.
He's
kind of like in the Curtis Lazar kind of thing.
He's going to be getting PTO'd. His legs are really falling apart, man.
All right, we'll play a little game. Who would give Jeff Skinner a PTO?
Nobody. Yeah, he's not even PTO. Like, if he wants to play, he's going to Europe. See you later. No. Maybe somebody will. I don't know, I guess, but no.
They terminated his contract, yeah. I Druin, I don't think he's getting a PTO. Like, if he's getting a PTO, maybe Colorado, just to see if they can get him for league minimum. Because they know him. He wasn't terrible in Colorado at all. I would say that'd be the only team I could see do a PTO for Druin, maybe. But they don't have cap space, so there's so many guys. Like, I feel bad. Like, I don't really feel bad. That's the wrong word. I just feel like it's a lot of players that could still play in the NHL that aren't going to be playing this year. There's no room. We need to expand.
I think there's a lot of players that are not the greatest, but they're all equal, and these guys just didn't find spots.
Yeah.
Klingberg, I think, will play. I think Klingberg, I like that in Anaheim. Mark Brown said, Susie. Yeah, there's another one. Mark Brown said Schneider to Anaheim for picks and prospects. Do the Rangers have cap space? Because I don't think single player there is going to. I don't think a single player there is going to go to Anaheim after they've heard everything. They've been hanging out with Kreider and Trouba and everybody. I don't think anybody's wanting to go to New York right now from Anaheim. So I don't think you're getting a player back in return.
Except for Dorofeyev.
Yeah, but he was in Vegas. That's different.
Yeah, I know. He went from Vegas to New York.
Yeah, I'm saying in Anaheim specifically.
Oh, going to Anaheim. Yeah. I thought you meant going to.
No, I think Anaheim to New York. I think it's a really good chance that Kreider and all those guys dampened anybody's desire to go to New York. They probably have been talking shit about New York ever since I got there.
Oh,
Kreider,
shit.
Trouba, all those guys.
Speaking of New York, I just looked. The Rangers. So you got Bjorkstrand on a UFA next year playing for a contract. Yeah. Taylor Radish on a contract here or for UFA. Yeah, Matt Rampe. Yeah. Matt Rampe might get a raise if he has another decent year.
I thought Matt Rampe was an RFA right now. No? Not?
Nope. Is that one more? Yeah, they got a bunch of guys there. Braden Schneider. Oh, fuck yeah, they're screwed. $5.5 million, and he's an RFA with arbitration next year. You think he stays, or does he try the 1-year deal and get out of there?
Who's that?
Braden Schneider.
I think they're going back and forth on whether they want to give him a contract. I personally thought Schneider had a pretty good year last year. I don't mind them.
He did. That's why He had a good year, but
It's
I'm just
just,
wondering if the
do
Rangers
they
want him.
want to? Is he looking for a top 6 spot? And
Well, you have
I don't think
Fox,
they.
Gavrikov, and then Schneider. We probably making in this NHL probably 7-8 million on his next contract. Then you have Dursey at 6.
Dursey.
Marcus Pettersson at
They're going to want
5.5.
Dursey at that top. They got Dursey at that top 6 spot. So unless he wants third 3D money, that's going to be the issue. It's how much do they want that? So
Yeah.
that's going to be the issue there. I don't know what they would want, if they're going to want to go that way or not. Yeah,
It's funny with the guy, all these guys left. Like, I wish too bad we didn't have one more NHL team, because then that would have pretty much taken care of all the guys that should be still playing in the NHL.
Well, you say they should, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of guys that shouldn't be NHLers, and there's a whole ton of them, and some of them can't make it in. If they go another NHL team, I mean, you're gonna get there's guys that are playing right now that are really borderline. Really,
There
borderline.
is, yeah. And these guys are going to sit out while they play one more year, find out they can't, and then these guys are going to be out of the job.
I think expansion is going to be 2 years. I think we're going to hear it not this year, but next year. I think we're going to hear it this year that there'll be a new team next year.
Hear it at the end of the draft or something.
Houston. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to be Houston. I don't know how much that owner, the Stars, likes that idea too much, but
yeah, I was going to say, I think if they are going to expand, I think they go back to Atlanta, if anything. They have a heart on for Atlanta for some reason.
Well, it's a big market. You want to win. You got to win those markets. You got to win Arizona. If you can win Arizona and Atlanta, you've made it. I mean, that's the way it's. If you're going to compete with the NFL, you got to win those markets. Those are huge sports markets.
Mark Brown says they need to get rid of 2 teams. I don't think so at this point. The owners are like, no, that's less money. Money go down bad. Add 2 more teams and get over $1 billion for each team. Money good.
All right. Well, I think we exhausted everything here.
Yeah.
I was just going to look at Calgary real quick. I mean, a lot of these players could sign short with Calgary because they need to fill roster spots pretty much.
Do they? I thought they have abundance. Oh, maybe forward they could use maybe one guy. Yeah, defense.
Joel Farabee is not going to be at that spot.
Yeah, even Calgary
doesn't. I mean, it depends.
Really, they might.
Are ready to play. They're going to get slaughtered next year on defense, I think. But I love their manager.
100%.
100%. He was okay. He wasn't that great. He wasn't that great last year. Like, I don't know. He's okay. He's an NHLer. He's going to be an NHLer. Yeah, he's going to be an NHLer. But if he was on a team like, let me just take like Columbus, he probably doesn't even have a spot. He probably doesn't even play when he's in Columbus.
He averaged 17 minutes last year a game, so that's pretty good for development.
Yeah, that's Calgary. I'm saying that if he was like Dallas, doesn't play. Columbus, wouldn't play. I'm saying that he's just fortunate he's in Calgary that he gets the opportunity to play.
Yeah. As long as he's playing like over 13 minutes a game, I'd say then at least he's developing. If you're playing anything less, you'd be better off in the minors.
I don't know. It depends on how much. You got to really monitor that. How much is he starting to affect his confidence to be getting crushed all game? And there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with that. You know,
Oh,
I don't know.
Perek. Oh, he's got swagger. He don't have confidence
I know, but
issues.
the guys with the most swagger can lose it real quick if they stop believing in themselves. Doesn't take long. If they, especially if they start getting physically, you start. It's like right now, nobody knows who he is. The bump is going to be when people start knowing who he is, and they're going to be after him, and he starts playing top comp. And you can be really confident as hell until all of a sudden that you realize, holy shit, I'm getting crushed here. And then those guys with the swagger arrogance can fall hard. It's very, very, very on playing defenseman too young can crush it. Can crush it.
It can. 100%. I agree.
They have to be very
But
careful. That's why I'd be looking for a better veteran to play alongside him where I can find it.
when this is how I see it is you got Calgary and then you got what's their AHL team? It's in Calgary too, whatever it is.
Calgary too. Kidman. No, Calgary Hitman is the junior.
No, that's June. But anyway,
junior.
Their AHL team is arguably probably on the same level as their NHL team. So it's like you send him to the AHL. Is it much better for him to play in the NHL as long as he's getting the minutes? I think he should play in the
the
NHL.
competition you're playing against.
Oh yeah, you got to protect him 100%.
But you're playing against. You're going to play more ice time against higher competition in the AHL. Like the top lines in the AHL, if you can play there, you're going to get more ice time, build more confidence, build more strength, crush the AHL, fucking crush it. Then come play in the NHL. I'm still a believer of that. Until you are absolutely annihilating the AHL, I don't want you playing in the NHL. I'm old school that way.
I agree. Like,
I don't want my coach to have to balance out what lines you're playing against and stuff like that. What did he play last year? That's where injuries happens too. That's the other thing. Correct.
Yeah, I think there's D out there that are good enough to play in the NHL when they're younger. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Perek is closer to saying yes, he is.
He didn't play against any competition last year, and he got absolutely fucking crushed, dude. Crushed. Like
we played 17 minutes a night. You can't play.
I know he got crushed doing it. You got crushed.
How do you not play any competition if you average 17 minutes a night?
Oh, you can play 17 minutes a night against low comp. Easy. You just put them out against lower lines as much as you possibly can.
At home, what about on the road?
Even
his ice time should go down.
Even then. Get power play time. That doesn't count on it. Get power play time. Look at.
He would have got power play time.
The guy who's a master of that is Brindamore. Gosh, Spear plays like 20-some minutes a night, and he only plays against 35% comp. It's fucking incredible how he does that. I don't even know how he does that, but he does it.
He's on the opening lineup every night. He just starts them on the opening face-off, and
he just puts them out against fourth lines as much as possible. How much is fourth? How much are fourth lines on the ice? 12, 13 minutes. Gosh, Spear will be out there against them most of the time.
Depending how your team is.
And third line or weak second lines, that's even the best. Sometimes teams have really weak second lines. Also, you play them more against bad teams.
Wranglers. Thank you, Mark. That's who it is. Calgary's AHL team.
Calgary Wranglers. Anyways, we're hit 2 hours now. I think that's enough. All right.
That sounds
great to have you back, Larry. Thanks for coming in. Jaime's body limit's the best there. I said it. A vat to you is coming your way from Hernandez, don't you know? A vat a day keeps everything away.
Did you like your new one I gave you before?
I did, and then I couldn't find it. You had to resend it to me. You were gone, and I was like, I don't want to bug you on your holidays. So But give me another. Show it again. I don't know. I didn't title it, and I don't know why I can't find it. Maybe I deleted it by mistake or something.
Uh-oh. Hopefully I didn't delete it already.
But
Uh-oh. It's okay. Yeah, I'll find it.
that's my full 42, boys and girls. That's all I got to give. I hope you enjoyed this fine programming and catch me. I got 2 articles I just put out for the hockey news. I did you might be interested in this one. It's my, what did I call it? Reasonably able to acquire all Pearlo team.
I forgot to tell you, take a look at that article. I opened it up on my phone. It was really hard to read. It was like formatted really weird. Just want to give you a heads up on that. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like
Thanks, everybody. I got to go. Okay, bye. Hit the like and subscribe. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Nobody's watching.